going to be all about who is Sufi Motiwala in real.
Who is he?
Yes, who is he?
I don't know, girl. You tell me. I was born in Surat. Wow, I'm saying I was born only in the wrong place. I was born in Bangalore. Imagine sitting in front of a camera and not remembering where you're born.
Social media works that way.
I'm one of one. I'm number one. I'm the only one. No one else in this world can think like me. Can I tell you something so funny? Last night I was asking ChatGPT, am I haram? Will Allah accept me in Jannah? You, a pathetic human being, is not going to describe my faith and my spirituality and my love and my connection with Allah to me. थोड़ा तो research कर लो. मतलब the Traitors IP is built a certain way.
Absolutely.
Every Traitors host behaves like this only. They're supposed to behave like this.
Right.
Karan Johar was paid to behave like this. Felt like, oh ये celebrity हैं और मैं आम आदमी हूँ. मेरे लिए तो हमेशा है कि मैं celebrity हूँ और ये सब कौन है? लोगों को निकालो घर भेजो भाई.
Hi, this is Farzeen and welcome to India Today, and I have a confession to make. I actually took out time to decide what I'm wearing today because I was meeting social media's fashion police,
Yes.
Sufi Motiwala.
Hi, it's your resident mean person of the internet. Ding, how are you? And also
good.
thank you so much. I don't know why, but I actually have had this effect on people. Like every single person I meet, even if it's like I've started a new friendship with someone, or like someone that I'm seeing, or like even like cousins or far family, that like whenever we meet you, we actively feel the pressure of what should we wear.
I mean, I didn't want to get roasted on my interview.
But I would never. You look so adorable and your blush is blushing. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
But Sufi, whatever we've seen you on social media, and this interview is going to be all about who is Sufi Motiwala in real.
Who is he?
Yes, who is he?
I don't know, girl. You tell me.
I find him very cute. And then he has those
devil horns.
those invisible horns who goes around on social media creating havoc and giving people sleepless nights, and their stylists, of course.
I think I am very much two-faced. One face is like the one that says it how it is, and then the other one is equally as sensitive. And you know, I find it very weird because like, you know, everybody, like most of the people cannot digest a human with contradiction. They're like, या तो तुम एक अच्छे इंसान हो, या तो तुम एक बुरे इंसान हो. Nobody can, like,
Go ahead.
I've forgotten everything.
You were talking about how people cannot understand people with contradiction.
Yes, so I just feel like, you know, as a person, I am both sides of the coin. I am equally fierce and sensitive. Like last night I was scrolling through reels, and I saw this one post where this child was like, I'm going to tell Allah what you've done to us, and you know, in Gaza. And I was wheezing and crying. So I'm only fierce about fashion. Otherwise I'm a very, very, very sensitive person. Like everything gets to me. Like you could pass me a look right now and I will panic about it for the rest of the day and tell my PR, why does India Today hate me? Do they not like me? So I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
But I think people just don't digest it because everybody wants to put you in a box. Okay, oh, he's the evil cunt.
True.
Or he's the bitch. Or he's the congenial.
Right.
So right now I'm just in my congeniality era. I've been telling everybody that I'm in my congeniality era, so they try to start putting me in that box.
Got it. But tell me, how did this love for fashion come about, and were you always criticizing maybe your friends and cousins when you were a child?
From childhood, my family has told me that I've always been a whiny, bratty diva. Like they always recount this story of like when we went to Kashmir and like we went to Gulmarg, and basically a cousin of mine put snow inside my jacket.
Okay.
And I got so pissed about it that I went away from the whole family to a distant pahad, and I stood there like a, you know, like I was doing yoga or whatever, and I didn't talk to them the whole day.
Wow.
So I have been like a diva since birth, and I fell in love with fashion, I think, watching my mother, like, you know, she used to stitch her own clothes during when we were young, and like she used to stitch clothes for us.
And do you remember which was that first video that went viral, which broke the internet?
For me, there's never been a single viral video, you know. For me, what I've always actively worked towards is that to create a huge perception of who I am.
Right.
So like in this country now, even if like a person doesn't follow me, they sure as hell know who I am.
Yes.
Like even if they don't know my name, they will be like, are you the person who rates people? Who are you? That 0 out of 10 guy. So I have created an image of myself where people recognize what I do. That was always the main goal for me. For me, it was never that मुझे एक ऐसा वायरल रील चाहिए जिसपे 100 मिलियन व्यूज आ जाएं और सब लोग
Right.
सब लोग मुझे फॉलो कर लें. For me, it's always been like a step and a step and a step and a step that takes me to the Met Gala, because that's my goal. My goal is
Wow.
not to just be an actor or a reality star or anything. For me, true fulfillment would be to be honored to the Met.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
And have you already imagined the costume that you would be wearing?
Yeah, I think it would have a train, it would have to have black elements in it, and the third thing that would finish the look would be based on what theme they have that year.
Absolutely. And tell me, in college, were you doing this with your friends also, like telling them what they should be wearing, what they
People
shouldn't?
used to hate me in college,
Oh
Sana.
my
They used to be
God.
like, ये पागल लड़का ना इसके पास पैसे हैं, ये भिखमंगा जो यहाँ पीछे पीजी में रहता है, ये कौन होता है हमारी कोमल पांडे को रेट करने वाला, and all of that.
Yeah.
People used to be very, very abrasive and very abusive also. Like they used to be like, we will not talk to you because you're that guy and all that. And I used to be like, chill. And I think it was Komal actually. So when I had just started and I had like 5,000-6,000 followers.
Right.
And Komal Pandey had followed me.
Oh.
Like I used to,
Yeah.
like you just asked, right? What was the first video of note for me? And actually it was that. I made a video on her and she started following me, and then everybody in college, then there became two sections in college. One used to be like, hey, who the is he? And the other used to be like, hey, but Komal Pandey follows him.
Yeah.
And you know, from there to now, I've reached a position where, alhamdulillah, everybody in the industry is following me and watching me. So I'm just highly grateful. Like,
Absolutely.
the Sufi Motiwala effect is strong and too strong.
And from a PG, tell me, Sufi, when you started earning money and you felt that this is it, this could be a career and I could earn good amount of money. How did that feel?
मतलब you know, मैं ऐसा like I used to मतलब my childhood and मेरा जो बचपन and my time in Delhi, it's always been very money hungry. I used to be very money hungry. I used to be like पैसा चाहिए, पैसे सब कुछ हो जाता है. Also because I was in those situations of dire need. You know, I was sharing a PG with a 27-year-old adult who was like a predator almost.
Oh my God.
And like all of these things. So I really needed an out. So once I started making money, I realized the true value of money and why people always say that money is very necessary.
Right.
Because sure, money cannot bring you happiness, money cannot bring you peace, but it can bring you safety. It can bring you convenience. It can bring you autonomy.
Right.
Now I've reached a position in my life where if anybody makes me uncomfortable or feel unsafe, I can walk out at the drop of a hat. Even if I'm in any country of the world or if I'm in any room of the world. And that is very important as an LGBTQIA plus person.
Yeah.
And you know, like a lot of people who reach out to me like, oh, I'm like figuring out and I'm exploring my sexuality. I always tell them that never come out to anybody unless and until you're financially stable. Because once you're financially stable, then that decision is just power.
Absolutely.
It's you taking like you exercising final control over your life. Whereas if you do it at the ripe age of 16, when I had to come out, it's not helpful.
Yeah.
It's like your mental health gets you don't understand what's happening in life. So you know, for all the young queens and the young kings that are out there, I would say that understand the value and importance of money in this world.
Yeah.
Money is not that valuable. In reality, if you have money, you're not going to feel peace, you're not going to feel love, you're not going to feel content. But in this world, in earth, the importance of money is very high.
Right.
So you should always strive to be financially independent.
Amazing. And you spoke about coming out at the age of 16. Sufi, of course, it's a personal question. You can choose not to answer. But coming from a Muslim family, that must have been a very difficult challenge for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Can I tell you something so funny? Last night, I was asking ChatGPT, am I haram? Will Allah accept me in Jannah? And all of that. And ChatGPT was telling me, and it was honestly, matlab, like, aaj tak I have talked to so many Maulanas. I'm a Quran Hifz, by the way. I have by hearted the whole Quran. And I have talked to so many Ustads and Maulanas, and not a single person has ever been able to describe the rahmat and the largeness and the fullness of Allah. That Allah is not like an incel on the internet.
Exactly.
Allah is not like a 50 saal ka buddha who will be like, gay logon ko jaan se maar do. Allah is Ghafoorur Rahim, yaar. Allah is light in its purest form. And so if we say that Allah loves you 70 times more than your mother, then I think that Allah will judge me by my heart, by my ruh, by my actions, and by how I treat people. And I think I will see, I mean, and then of course jo Allah judgment dega wo to hame accept karna hi hai. But truly, I have gotten way more closer to Islam as of late, and I think that it's not all that black and white. It's
Yeah.
not all that simple.
That is true.
कि हाँ बस ये बोला गया है तो ये है. इस्लाम में कितनी सारी चीजें लिखी गई हैं और कितनी ऐसी छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जिन्हें तो हम मतलब देखते भी नहीं हैं
बिल्कुल.
और मानते भी नहीं है, सोचते भी नहीं है उनके बारे में. बट कन्वीनियंस के हिसाब से what we can pinpoint where we pick that up. And it's not just Islam. I have noticed every religion does that to every minority. And that's just how the world is, you know, structured to assert dominance and control over whoever is the minor. So, I reject that. I reject that pressure. I reject that conformity that I need to be a certain kind of Muslim to feel in touch with my faith.
Right.
And B, I think like, matlab like, you, a pathetic human being, is not going to describe my faith and my spirituality and my love and my connection with Allah to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
मैं जानता हूँ और मेरा अल्लाह जानता है जैसे तू जानता है और तेरा अल्लाह जानता है.
बिल्कुल.
वहीं पे छोड़ दो ना.
Yeah, but what about your family? Were they supportive enough?
Yes, like initially, like, you know, I strongly believe that as a human being, if it takes a person 20 years, 25 years to come to terms with their sexuality, then their family also deserves 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, or how many ever years they take. My family, I have to say, of course, was not very kind in the beginning, and you know, my family initially was very rough, but you know, I have to give it to them. They were never abusive towards me. They were never like, we will not give you food or we will not treat you like a normal human being. I realize, I find that a lot of people lack humanness, lack muchness in humanity. You know, like they forget that just because another person is not a spitting image of you does not mean that they're not also human. They're the same atoms and the same cells and the same everything that you are. So, I think my parents treated me as a human being even then. They never treated me like I was lesser than them or I was lesser than their son. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to learn from. That, you know, even if, let's say that I have a gay daughter, a gay son, and I don't relate to that, I can still love him as my son. And hate him for his sexuality also. And take my time to come to terms with that sexuality. But just the sexuality does not change the existence of that human being.
Totally.
You know? And also on the flip side of that, I also berate the people from the community who make their sexuality their whole existence. कि अब मैं गे हूँ तो मैं तो नंगा होके घूमूंगा और मैं तो पब्लिक में मेक आउट करूंगा और मैं तो सबसे झगड़ूंगा and all that. That's not activism. That's you bringing the community down and you making our struggles make stupid.
Absolutely.
Like, we are not fighting for making out in front of Jantar Mantar. We are fighting for marriage. We are fighting for blood donation.
Equality,
we are fighting for child adoption. We are fighting for basic rights. We are fighting for medical insurances in the companies that we work for. We are fighting for fair pay. That's what we are fighting for. We're not fighting for all these stupid things. So, you know, to the community also, I would say that, you know, stand for bigger things, do better things in life.
True. And tell me about your experience of the Traitors.
Oh my God.
We need to talk about that.
It was a mess and a half. It was so chaotic. It was so fun. Like, I just loved every bit of it. I just feel like, you know, like हम लोग सब सपना देखते हैं बचपन से बड़े होते होते कि भाई I will do a reality show and मैं तो kill कर दूंगा और मैं तो ये कर दूंगा. And then for me, मतलब like, it shows 21 right now when you guys see it, but I filmed it at the age of 20.
Oh my God, yes.
So for me, I was like a bachcha on that show, yeah. When I entered that show, matlab, I was the personification of a panic attack. मतलब मुझे constant stress ही हो रहा था वहाँ पे 10 के 10 दिन कि मैं हूँ, मैं जिंदा हूँ या नहीं, मर तो नहीं जाऊँगा. We used to feel so pressured. But it was the best experience of my life. Like, I would love to do it again and again and again.
But were you intimidated, Sufi, because you were just 20 and there were celebrities who were so much more popular?
यार, मैं रफ्तार पे चिल्ला रहा हूँ जैसे वो मेरा छोटा भाई हो. जब से वो मुझसे at least 20 साल बड़ा है. And I am screaming के don't be annoying Raftar. Dude, he's spiraling. Because for me in the show it was very that, you know, I was not fighting with Raftar. I was fighting with who I think is the traitor. That was what we were going off of. So I think that was really helpful for us when we entered the show, that, you know, the show really pushed that we are all equal, like we are all playing on an equal foot.
Right.
Everybody has an equal voice to give here and an equal suspicion to do on other people. So that was really like very asserted since the beginning of the show, and all of the people on the show as well. Like Raftar, Karan, Mahip, like all of these people that we are supposed to be intimidated from was so sweet, was so hearty. Like,
Yeah.
I think like Raftar is just so like wholesome. Like he genuinely didn't care for 1 second that I might get eliminated or anything. Like whatever we were doing, whatever we were like, of course we're fighting and everything, but that's because we are playing the game. We're playing the
Absolutely.
game of traitors. Okay?
Yeah.
Who is the innocent? Who is the traitor? So we have to fight. We have to argue. But that doesn't mean that me and Raftar on a personal level are fighting.
Yeah.
Me and Raftar are still sending each other memes and laughing and all of that. You know. So it was very that. I never felt intimidated by them, and also because I've always never felt like, oh ये celebrity है और मैं आम आदमी हूँ. मेरे लिए तो हमेशा है कि मैं celebrity हूँ और ये सब कौन है? लोगों को निकालो घर भेजो भाई. हम आ गए हैं यहाँ पे.
And who's the best dressed and worst dressed on the show?
I have to say the best dressed was Raftar because he was wearing Louis Vuitton. He's like, him and his new wife had really gone out with his show package. So he was really giving. And the worst dressed would have to be a split up between Raj and Ashish Ji.
Okay.
And not worse in the sense that over they were dressed bad. It was just very lacking. Like it was not a lot of anything. Like even with me, like of course we were all asked to wear casual wear, but I was still carrying my bag. Like Apurva did dresses, Jasmine was doing her mini skirts and everything. So like everybody was trying. I feel like Ashish sir and Raj sir were like a little, in the background, in the fashion background. They could have done a lot more.
And when you saw Karan Johar, like I'm sure every dress you
Gagged.
were judging in your mind. Yes, tell me about that.
Babe, the Gaurav Gupta and all that in the first episodes, that's nothing.
Okay.
I think Schiaparelli, Amit Agarwal Couture, Valentino, baby, the best is yet to come. Like we used to literally, like when Karan used to enter the scene, we used to be like, okay, so which designer is he wearing today? And me and Urfi, we used to sit and discuss. Because like, even though me and Urfi, like we love fashion so much and she's so in touch with other designers, I'm so much in touch with designers. I keep watching collections. So we used to literally be like, oh, he's wearing Human by Pranav Kriti. Oh, he's wearing Gigi. Oh, this is Introverta by Amit. So for me and Urfi, that was a really fun thing to do throughout the show on guessing what designer he's wearing. And also Eka Lakhani, who's Karan's permanent stylist, was his stylist on the show as well. So like one time we saw Eka, we were like running for a shot somewhere and we saw Eka and we were like, so Eka, who is he going to wear? Tell us, tell us, tell us. And she was obviously not allowed to talk to us, so she didn't say anything. But like Karan Johar's fashion was to live for on the show.
Amazing. But was Karan as strict with you guys off camera also?
There was no off camera. So Karan only used to interact with us with the 30 seconds that you see on screen.
Right.
I've been seeing a lot of Karan hate on Reddit, by the way. I want to address this. All of you losers, firstly. I think a mask makes a lot of like people cruel. And all these Reddit people, they're just wearing these masks and this Hamba Damba Jamba 230 whatever, and they say whatever the you want. You could never. Never. Firstly, never. Secondly, थोड़ा तो research कर लो. मतलब the Traitors IP is built a certain way. Every Traitors host behaves like this only. They're supposed to behave like this.
Right.
Karan Johar was paid to behave like this. So बिना research के कुछ भी मतलब like, why is he so dramatic unnecessarily? Oh my God, what is with the expressions? That's literally what he's been asked to do. Do you think now Karan Johar will say to BBC and Prime and just start doing whatever he wants? Grow a pair of brain cells. Like grow a pair of sense. कुछ तो दिमाग सोच के बोलो यार. I feel like internet पे अब कुछ भी बोलते हैं लोग मस्ती में कि
that is true. And on that note, Sufi, tell me, you also face a lot of trolling.
I don't.
And then there are celebrities like Abhishek Malhan recently did, or Maura's fans troll you. How do you kind of deal with those things?
As the late great Kiki Palmer once said, keep it moving. Like firstly, imagine like being so pressed by a 21-year-old that I have two strict rules that I follow in life. A, I never critique someone's fashion on their face. I critique it after the event. And B, I never say something about their face, body or anything. So the fact that these people constantly make it about my sexuality, my hairline, my shakal, my bank account, my career, I just think it's like, they want to feel better about themselves. They feel that कि ये 20 साल का बच्चा जो हम करते हैं वही तो कर रहा है, ये भी bitching ही तो करता है, gossip ही तो करता है, तो ये क्यों इसे क्यों मिल रहा है ये सब? He doesn't deserve all this. So I think frankly all of the hate 90% stems from insecurity, 10% stems from uneducatedness, because whenever I do something wrong and I need to be corrected, my fans and my followers correct me with great sophistication and great nuance.
Right.
So I don't even have to bother with the hate.
Yeah.
I don't
But do you
care.
also feel like when you critique maybe somebody's wedding look, that gets a lot of hate for you? I mean, it's a personal choice. How do you look at that?
I think it's just that, you know, like पहले तो to think that आपकी शादी हो रही है और आपको सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट ये लग रहा है कि मुझे एक YouTube वीडियो बनाना चाहिए कि एक 21 साल के बच्चे को मेरे शादी के जोड़े पे क्या ख्याल है, ये मतलब ग्राउंड ब्रेकिंगली इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज है. पहली बात तो I can't even fathom that. Secondly, wedding commentary, wedding fashion discourse has existed for millennia.
Right.
Matlab, Queen Charlotte and like you know, all of these queens also, when they used to get married, their outfits used to be point of discussions for months.
Absolutely.
For months. तो अगर मुझे तुम्हारा शादी का जोड़ा, which is by the way the most basic thing in the world, नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है, it's not that deep.
Right.
And if you don't like my thought, just block me, which you already have. So obviously, so I think there was this one person who said this to me, saying that you know Sufi, why they keep getting upset with you? Because you keep saying the truth.
Oh.
If they were wearing good clothes, they would not be upset. It's the fact that they're wearing shitty clothes and you call it out, which pisses them off.
Right.
10 साल से तो चल रहा था, कोई हमें कुछ नहीं बोल रहा था, अब ये 20 साल का बच्चा आके क्यों सब सच खोल रहा है? सब मतलब like, you know, why is he calling a spade? And that's what it is, honestly.
Absolutely.
Because even during Coachella, with whatever happened, they were bad dressed, horribly dressed.
Yeah.
Even with this wedding, hello, you have so much money.
Yeah.
You're wearing Malhan tailors at your wedding. And Malhan tailors पे भी जाके आपने उसको Pinterest पे से पहला पिक्चर दिखाया है कि ये बना दो. और अब आपको कोई बोल रहा है कि it's not the best thing and you're upset about it and you're being homophobic about it.
Right.
It's just not cute.
Absolutely.
Like in 2025, I think as Indians we need to stand for bigger and better things. Homophobia and all of that is just so outdated, यार.
Absolutely.
मतलब like कुछ तो अब नया कर लो यार.
Yeah.
वैसे भी आप सब कुछ कॉपी कर रहे हो, at least inserts तो original कर लो. You know?
Right. And lastly, I wanted to ask you, I was just watching an interview of yours where you spoke about Apurva and what she went through. Of course, as a friend it hurts, Sufi, but also as an industry, as someone from the same fraternity, how do you look at these rape threats, these death threats that have become so common these days? And did you learn something from Apurva, or maybe your conversation with
I
Sufi,
think I've
because
just
she's also
learned a lot of
faced
like,
that.
when shit hits the fan, you just have to let it pass. Like right now also for the last 3, like today I wanted to do a video on Rani Kohinoor, Ella De Verma, Sanat and I'm forgetting the fourth, Trinetra,
Right.
you know, these 4. I wanted to do a video on the dolls of the world, and I wanted to, like, you know, shed light on them and shout them out and talk about their fashion and all of that. But all these uneducated fans of Abhishek and all of them are writing gay, chakka, hijra and all of that. And I was like, you know, even though I want to make this video and I want to shine out on these dolls, that's not what's going to happen, because the thousands stupid people are going to write chakka and all that only in my comment section. And so you just have to come to peace with the way the world functions.
Yeah.
And Apurva or a Sufi Motiwala cannot sit and fight with the whole system.
True.
When it all goes south, you just have to put your head down, make sure it passes through, and then come back stronger, which is what she did.
Yeah.
She came back stronger than ever, and she's like killing it. You know?
But as a fraternity, have you guys thought about how things can change? Like, how can you guys come together?
We can't do anything.
Nothing?
Do you think a 21-year-old and a 23-year-old can fight with the Supreme Court?
That is true.
When we have when in a time and space where we're still fighting for feminism, LGBTQ rights, trans lives, all of that, to think that creator lives are something that can be benefited is the farthest from reality.
Yeah.
To think, like, honestly, if you look at it, the government, or, you know, like, basically what was being done from this is that it's to assert control. It's to assert control over Instagram and YouTube and these creative forums, and so that they cannot be questioned.
Absolutely.
It's a power dynamic that's being set up. And to go against that power dynamic in such a young age would just be dumbness.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that we are in any way equipped to do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, inshallah, if we have lifelong careers and we do things that I would really love to stand for bigger things in this industry.
Absolutely.
But right now, I just am grateful for the career I have and I'm just trying to enjoy it for as long as it lasts. You know, because we don't even know how long this will last.
That is also true. I mean,
अभी बम वम उड़ा के हम सब मर गए तो.
I thought you would say that someone else would just take your place because social media works that way.
I'm one of one. I'm number one. I'm the only one. No one else in this world can think like me.
Amazing.
You know?
Yeah. Some bizarre fashion looks from Bollywood, and I just want you
She
to
has to
maybe
do this.
rate or just
I'm
say
going to
something about it.
quickly vintage. Ghastly. These shorts, Salman. Hello.
There's two of
Ah! But kind of like living. Old Salman is just so hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the drape on this, on her hair, iconic, and butter yellow is so epic. Amitabh Bachchan, मतलब the fact that Amitabh Bachchan को हर 90s movie में एक गरीब इंसान बनाया गया है is insane. And Rekha को अमीर इंसान बनाया गया है. Like look at her, she looks like an otherworldly alien, like futuristic diva, and then we have Amitabh. What the? No comment. No comment. With Josh, no comment. Keep it moving. मतलब ये लोग एकदम डरावना डरावना कुछ पहन ले रहे हैं.
Amazing, Sufi. Thank you so much for this conversation,
Of
and it
course.
was lovely knowing the
Of course.
Sufi Motiwala, and we hope you go on to do great wonders on social media
Thank
and
you,
on
thank you
other
so
things
much.
that you want to do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On my way to the Met.
Yes,
Let's go.
absolutely.